Good day everyone, I am Diana DEJUCOS discussing topic 4, exploring text reflecting different cultures. So here are the learning outcomes. In this lesson, you are able to recognize the different types of text being shown in and by different cultures. And second, evaluate the text reflecting or depicting cultural differences. So let's talk about text. What is text? A text isn't limited to something written down. Hindi lang siya yung mga nakasulat o yung mga nababasa natin. A text can be a film, an artifact, anything in a language and culture that conveys meaning. So, here are some questions to think about the text that you use in your language classroom. First, what's in the textbook? Second, what do you read in a classroom or even at home? Third, how do you describe the classroom, its design? And last, why do you think the chairs are placed facing the tables? Text can be categorized into the following groups. First is the created text, the semi-authentic text, and last, the authentic text. A created text is a text authored by non-native speakers for non-native speakers to achieve predetermined curricular goals. Example for this is a Filipino writer composed Filipino materials for Filipino people. Next is the semi-authentic text. This text created by native and or non-native speaker based on original language materials but adapted to fit curricular needs. Example for this is a Filipino film is translated or has subtitles into English language for native English speakers. The last one is the authentic text. This text is created by native speakers for native speakers for consumption in a native environment. Other example for this is these are the materials, a film or a text written by a native English writer for his or her native reader. It only focuses on the native reader. Let's move on to cultural text. A cultural text are those objects, actions, and behavior that reveal cultural meanings. Cultural text is something to do with the objects, actions, and behaviors ng isang society na hinibibilangan mo and also reveal the cultural meaning ng binabasa mo. And same thing, what we have here in our country. We have our own cultural text. So you have to make sure na naiintindihan mo that the cause of miscommunication is sometimes the pronunciation. Yan ang kadalasang nagiging dahilan why the other person will not be able to understand you because of the pronunciation. And that is actually normal, especially sa ating mga Pilipino. Because we have our own accent, we have our own pronunciation na iba dun sa mga native speaker. This is because of differences in phonology. Also, a photo is an image but is also a cultural text, a picture with cultural information beyond just the picture itself. We have actually the relevant and irrelevant cultural text. This means that relevant cultural text is the one that has connection with your project, and the irrelevant cultural text is the one that may have nothing to do with your project. And now let's move to on how to evaluate messages and image of different types of text reflecting different cultures. The following should do understand how the specified cultures live, kung paano sila namumuhay in that culture, and how the people in the specified group communicate each other, kung paano yang grupo mag-communicate sa bawat isa, and learn the symbolism of their culture. Last, be aware in every detail such as artifact, language, and symbolism. So here are some additional information about text and cultural text. Text is not literal text, but in semiotic, it refers to a combination of sign, signifies, and mechanism like metonymy. which is semiotic. It is the study of signs and symbols and their use or the interpretation. One example of semiotics is the use of a red stop sign on a street. Ito yung makikita natin in our surrounding. All of those sign is semiotics. Then next is the metonymy. Metonymy, it is a figure of speech in which a word is substituted for another word that is closely associated with. Like, for example, this word, I gave him my heart, which literally means my loyalty is all yours. Ganon. Also, text could be a sentence, paragraph, an image, a story, or a collection of stories. Text is not simply representative of one culture. It does not belong to one culture, even if it purposely excludes others semiotically. Let's go to cultural texts. Cultural texts are not one-dimensional. It is multidimensional. They are dynamic. Culture is fluid rather than static, which means that culture changes all the time, every day, in subtle and tangible ways. Because humans communicate and express their cultural systems in a variety of ways, it can be hard to pinpoint exactly what cultural dynamics are at play. A trivia for cultural texts is perhaps better understood as having cultural layers of understanding where groups different in age, race, nationality, sexual orientation may read and understand a collection of signs in different ways. Next, we have formal language and informal language. These two serves different purposes, especially the tone, the choice of words, and the way words are put together vary between the two styles. The difference between formal language and informal language is that formal language is less professional than informal language. It does not use colloquialisms, contractions, or first person pronouns such as I or we. Formal language uses complete sentences, proper grammar, serious tone, and formal vocabulary. The difference between formal language and informal language is that formal language is less professional than informal language. It does not use colloquialisms, contractions, or first person pronouns such as I or we. Formal language use complete sentences, proper grammar, serious tone, and formal vocabulary, while informal language is more casual and spontaneous. The tone of informal language is more personal than formal language because informal language literally it is used in conversation with friends, family, classmates, and colleagues. Colloquial language is known in informal language, where colloquial language is used in ordinary or familiar conversations. So, here are some examples of formal and informal sentences using contractions, phrasal verbs, slang or colloquialisms, and the first person pronouns. In those sentences, you can see the differences when it comes to formal and informal language. So this is the last part, the sentences. I already discussed the metonymy and semiotics. Hoping may natutunan kayo. Again, this is Diana Joy DEJUCOS. Good day everyone. Thank you.